Hello everyone, I'm Pat Gwyn from the Mount Airy Public Library. How I wish I could see you in the library, but we are closed and everyone's working from home. And we are still working though to bring lots of services to you through our virtual library connection, which is our website at nwrl.org, and also through our Facebook page, which is Friends of the Mount Airy Public Library. Please don't spell out Mount, just put MT. And there you'll find lots of things that we can stay connected, use to stay connected with you. You'll find on our website ebooks and connections for students to study materials. And you will find lots of information about COVID-19, the census, and lots of things that we're all trying to keep up with these days and take care of while we're at home. It's really more than you can imagine. So I want you to click on that nwrl.org and see what all we have to offer for you. On our Friends of the Mount Airy Public Library Facebook page, we have some productions that have been done by Angela and Brackley Wellen. We have some live readings, and we have story times going on, as well as some special postings for Poetry Month. This is National Poetry Month, so we've been sharing some of our favorite poems. But this is National Library Week, and generally in National Library Week we would have some extra activities going on inside the library. But since you're staying home as we are and trying to stay safe and well, and I really hope that's working for you and that you'll take all the precautions you can, then you can join us as we share book talks this week. We're going to use each staff member, one staff member a day, will share a book, tell you about the author, about the book, and why they enjoyed it so much, and why it might appeal to you. So I'm going to get us started with a favorite author of mine named Gail Godwin. Gail Godwin is not a North Carolina girl, but she is certainly a Southern gal. She's from Alabama. She writes Southern stories, some of them set in North Carolina, including a book that she wrote called Grief Cottage, which is on the coast of North Carolina, and features some of the history of the hurricane, one of the hurricanes that came through. And then the very first book I read by her is called A Mother and Two Daughters. And when I picked that book up, the mother is driving toward Winston on Highway 52 as the story starts out the front of the book. And I thought, well, I'm certainly going to be able to relate to this, and it turned out to be a really good story and got me into reading lots of her things. Gail Godwin has a new book coming out in May that I'm really looking forward to. But the one I wanted to share with you today is called Unfinished Desires. Unfinished Desires is set in North Carolina in a town called Mountain City. And in Mountain City, there is a boarding school, a Catholic boarding school. It's run by someone named Mother Ravenel. Mother Ravenel was a student in that school herself and grew up in that area, even though she was from Charleston originally. And so in being a boarding school, there are lots of people who come in from different areas. But a lot of the people in Mountain City and the surrounding areas send their daughters to the school as day students, even if they're not Catholic, because it's supposed to be such a good school. Well, Mother Ravenel, having attended school herself there, is now teaching and overseeing the education for several of the daughters of her former classmates. So she knows them well, she knows their families, she knows their history, good, bad, and ugly. And so it's a very interesting year for her to have those students with her now, as she knew their parents as her fellow students then. So 1951 is the setting of that year. And there are lots of friendships going on, lots of changes, ninth grade girls, the class is in the ninth grade at that time. They have lots of changes in their lives. Some people lose people in their family for the first time. Some changes are made when people move into the area, and friendships change. They just do at that age. We don't always have the best friend we had when we leave ninth grade that we had when we came into ninth grade. And so we're in the mix with those girls and their education and how Mother Ravenel is running that school. Then we're going to fast forward to 2002. In 2002, Mother Ravenel is in a nursing home. She is very keen of mind, clear as ever, but her eyesight is dreadful. And she gets together once a year with these students that were her classmates at St. Gabriel's School, which is the name of the boarding school, for a mini reunion. They bring her back to the North Carolina mountains where she no longer lives, and they have close connections. And this particular year they ask her to write her memoirs. She has the best history of the school. She's lived that history of that school. She's the last member, a living teacher who knew their founding mother of the school. So she has the beginning history, her time as a student, her time with all the classes that came through as she was in charge of the school. So she's excited about the project, but she's not going to be able to write it because her eyesight is so dreadful. So she dictates it into a machine that she had not used before. And, with technology the way it is, and we're all learning new things every day, you'll have to understand the basic tape recorder was new to her at that time. And so she begins the story and rather enjoys telling the history until she comes to 1951. 1951 was the complex year. And it was a year where she realized that perhaps later she realized she had made some mistakes. Perhaps there were some mistakes made while she was a student there. And there are lots of things she has to come to terms with and resolve as she writes out that year. It's tough, but she does. And as she does, we get to learn the whole history of all that she's been through, especially with that class of 1951-52 and her classmates that were there when she was a student. So it's a very involved story. It keeps you very interested. She does lovely settings. She understands the Southern way of life, and she portrays it well in her book. So I hope you might consider reading this. I did ask that staff members choose books that are available through NWRL or nclive.org on the ebook collections. Unfortunately, Gail Godwin is not, but I still wanted to share her, and we're getting ready to place another ebook order. And as we do that, I'm going to make sure that she is included in those, and that I hope you will find her to be somebody that you enjoy as well. If you have suggestions for ebooks that you would like for us to include, you can let us know by contacting us. Email is mta@nwrl.org. If you have questions, if you do not have a library card, you can get a library card at the website of nwrl.org. It will be a temporary card to start with, but once it will last for 6 months, and hopefully we'll be in so much better shape. We'll all be in and out of the library, and then we can get you a permanent card. But with that temporary card, you can do all that you can with any library card. If you do not know your PIN number, which is needed to download books, just send us an email, again, at mta@nwrl.org, and we will make sure that that happens for you and that we make our services available. Check us out, stay well, and we do so miss you and look forward to seeing you in the library again. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.